Mindset reset for this Monday. Raise your hand if you would say you have a growth mindset. Most of you. So what is a growth mindset?
I think it varies person to person.
Okay, I would agree. Everyone's definition. I'd like to hear 3 different people's definitions of a growth mindset.
My definition of a growth mindset is, first and foremost, looking back to see what growth and then obviously striving for where I can grow, even if it's a little bit nothing is too small or too big. Even extra phone calls a day to me is a growth mindset. Being a little bit bigger every day for me is growth.
There we go. Just a little bit every day. I like it. Jim, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm a simple, try to keep it real simple, oversimplify everything. Just 1% better every day. What Tyler basically said the same thing, just a small increments. But if I could do minimum of 1%, I'm better than I was yesterday.
Mikez, you had something?
Yeah, I mean, I literally listened to the Ed Milet family reunion video yesterday, and it's just understanding that opportunities for bettering yourself arise. It doesn't matter. It is not on a Monday to Friday 8 to 5 kind of schedule. It's just being aware of it and just constantly thinking what you can do and then actually doing something. So that 1% thing I definitely resonate with. So
do you guys agree? The quiet ones on the call, the ones I can't see your faces, I would love to be able to see a head nod or a thumbs up or something. This is a part where I know that you're actually paying attention. Growth mindset is one of the most important things you need to have to be successful in real estate. Would you agree?
Yes.
Some head nods, yeah, right. My definition of it is growth mindset is a belief that the abilities, the intelligence, and the talents of an agent can be developed through dedication, hard work, and purposeful learning. It's the opposite of what a lot of people in the world have, which is a fixed mindset, which they believe that the abilities are innate and it cannot be significantly changed. You ever met someone who's really good at basketball and you just think, wow, you were just born that way, not realizing it might have been the 10,000 hours of practice that got them to that point? No matter what we struggle with, the growth mindset gives us that open chamber to allow us to grow into who we need to become. Big important there is write that down, who we need to become to achieve what we want to do. It's not just a skill like, oh, I have this skill, now I'm better, I'm a what? No, you're actually changing who. Once you learned how to ride a bike, did you forget? Once you learned how to tie your shoes, did you forget? Once you learned how to make a quesadilla on the grill without burning your fingers, did you forget? I did. I burned my fingers last night. It wasn't fun. But the reality is once we grow our understanding, we grow our mindset to a level of new understanding, we don't go backwards. So one of the big things a growth mindset will do for you is it allows you to embrace challenges. The people that have a growth mindset view challenges as an opportunity to grow and learn. And just like we talked about, once you learn a bigger idea or you learn something else, we don't go backwards from it. That makes you more likely to take on more and more difficult tasks because you see them as opportunities to expand your understanding and expand your abilities and expand your knowledge base. There are so many people in real estate, out of real estate. This is more of a life coaching opportunity that see opportunities as problems. Another issue, right? We can all think of one opportunity or one situation in our life where we took the higher ground. We said, you know what, this is going to be challenging. It's going to be tough, but I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to celebrate Chris. She was up in, I think Friday, she led a group of some of her agents to the top of Picacho Peak. Arguably a difficult hike. But I guarantee during the hike, the whole time people are with them, they're like, this sucks. Why'd I do this? This is tough. But because somebody like Chris had been to the top multiple times, was like, hey, we can do it. We're almost there. Keep pushing. Trust me, it's worth it. But seeing the pictures of the people sitting on top of Picacho Peak and looking out over the valley, you can tell that they are a changed person because you went through a 5-mile vertical hike. It's like a 1,500-foot elevation change. It is criminal how much your legs hurt at the end of it. But when you're done, you just sit there and you look over the valley and you're like, holy shit, I did that. And you're forever changed because now you're proud of yourself because you went through something hard, you didn't give up, and you changed. Because persistent and effort are another key element of a growth mindset. when you persist through pain, you grow into a bigger form of who you are. You understand that achieving what you're trying to do, the mastery of the topic, is we're going to require more effort. Are phone calls easy? All right, she corrected me. It's 2,100 foot elevation change. I knew it was significant. I was only 6 stories off, or 60 stories off. Sorry. It's a lot of stories. But when we do something significant, like making that first phone call, or sending out that first email, or knocking on that first door, or doing that first open house, or maybe the 30th or 50th or 100th, that next thing is that persistence and effort. But then you can be proud of yourself because you're willing to put in the work to reach your goal. So a good book I love, I don't even have it. Too many books. It's called Gung Ho. And gung ho is a fable about work and its strategies. And one of the things is the effort of a beaver. Is beavers do a lot of work, but they only do worthwhile work. This is work that helps you get to where you're going. Does it feel good to do work that you know is directly leading to a result that you want?
Mm-hmm.
Can we often not see how what we're doing in the moment actually does directly parlay into our result in the end? You have to be that open mindset to know that what I'm doing may directly or indirectly get to me where I'm going. Because if I'm pushing myself to do more, I'm becoming a better person. I'm growing in my abilities, which will allow me to take on bigger challenges. And those challenges will grow me even more so that I can become who I'm needed to be to get what I want in life. Like Tyler said, he looking back on his past and look at where he's come from and measuring the growth there. That's a big opportunity for us to look behind us and see, we've changed a lot. We've grown, we've developed. I know Dan 15 years ago was a totally different beast than he is today. When I was in my 20s, totally different than when I was in my 30s. I'm coming up on 37 soon. And I look at this as like, holy crap, I'm already 37 years old, but I still feel like a kid because I have so much more to go in life. But then I take a book from Tyler and I took around, I look backwards and see what I've accomplished. 2023 for me was a life-changing year. Not only did I get married, I bought another investment property. I started 2 more businesses. I moved again. I'm helping my mom start a business. I'm doing more in a year than I did in the last 5. And if I look at the last 5, I've done more in the last 5 than I've done in the last 15. We get to a point with a growth mindset that we have taken on so many challenges and grown our abilities that these small hurdles that we felt in the beginning of the race are nothing but bumps in the road as we continue on. And each stride is further and further. Each step gets us further and further. So that when we look in the future, we may have these big, audacious, hairy goals. Some call those BHAGs. But we look back and go, man, I've done a lot in the last 12 months. And I've done a lot in the last 5 years. It should excite you to go where you're going. Because that leads us into the next thing, which is you learn from your failures. Tyler even said, looking back at what I did wrong and where I could have grown from it. I love that. Not that I want you to beat yourselves up. Nothing about this is for you to do self-harm to your mentality. I don't want to hear the words because I suck and I'm no good at this and I'm terrible, I should just quit. I want you to think positively. What could I have done better? What could I have done differently? I don't remember when I caught on to this wave in my life, but I used to be so explosive and responsive. If something would break or drop, it would ruin my whole day. I would drop the milk and make a mess, and it would set me ablaze for hours. And now I laugh. Oh, wow, that sucks. Let's get it cleaned up real quick and move on.
It's funny. I heard something very profound from someone. It was surprising. They said something about, are you having a bad day or did you have a bad moment and now you're milking it for the rest of the day or shit like that?
Right. Are you having a bad day or did your bad moment become a bad day? We choose to let these things grow. But that's the thing is that's a lesson I had to learn is if things go wrong, you just got to adapt. I laugh and say, well, that's never happened before. Hell, I locked myself out of the house the other day. You want to know something? I learned never to walk out that door making sure it's not locked. Well, Sunday morning, guess what? Stone locked himself out the same door. Actually, Saturday morning, because Sunday morning, Sydney did it. It made me laugh, but I'm like, guys, when you walk out the door, if you're the first one out in the morning, make sure you push this button so the door's not automatically locked behind you. But it was funny to me because she was so bent out of shape that she was stuck outside for 5 minutes. And I'm all, well, at least we were home to open the door for you. When that happened to me, no one was home. I had to go through the garage. But that's the thing, it's a learning moment. Because if you've gone through the failure and you've gone through that exercise in your mind where things just didn't go right, and you had a positive and a growth mindset out of it, and you found a way to get through it, when others go through the same failure as you become a guiding light. You get to say, hey, it's all right. I've bombed a phone call before. I've botched a listing appointment before. I've forgotten that when I sent out a contract too. It's okay. We can fix it. It gives you more confidence to go out there and, again, trial and error and go after bigger and bigger challenges, because we adopt a love for learning. Would you say that you have a love for learning? I would say some of you do. I will say that most of this conversation today is stemmed off of the text message I got from Lexi. She texted me on Sunday and she said, all I had to do was change my mindset and everything started getting better. So I wanted to talk about that today. The mindset reset is when we start thinking differently, the world we see changes, right? The bold law is if we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change. If you're looking for the negative and the bad, you're going to find more of it. But if you're a learning mindset, you're a growth mindset, you make learning part of your action plan, you love learning, you love to grow and develop. When you have a genuine love for learning, it creates this swarm of curiosity, which then will help you digest more of the things that you've done. What could I have done differently? What did I do right? What did I do wrong? Instead of being critical, you're curious. But it also helps you solve problems, because instead of taking the first thing you see, you get curious about handling it differently, getting to the root cause, digging deeper, asking more questions. A lot like the podcast from the MRE podcast from Phil Jones, where he talks about asking more questions. When you think you know, ask more questions. But that is from a love of learning. As you're learning about the situation, you're learning about people, and you're finding better ways of solving it, which is then a growth mindset explosion. One of the things that I think is the most important to a growth mindset is adopting, and I want you to remember this, adopting a positive inner monologue. Who do you talk to most all day?
Yourself.
Yourself. And how many of us don't talk to ourselves very kindly? And oftentimes, if we were to talk to ourselves, if we were to talk to others out loud the way we talk to ourselves, you think you get smacked in the mouth a few more times? Probably. But for some reason, we don't challenge the way we talk to ourselves. We hold on to that negative pearl. We hold on to that fusion of toxicity. You got to let it go. You got to adopt a positive inner monologue. Sometimes you might be the only one in the room that's got your back. You might be the only person there that's going to cheer you on, but it's going to require you upstairs to be cognizant of it. Adopting a positive inner monologue is going to develop a stronger growth mindset. It's also going to help you replace a lot of the self-limitations you've put on, or your limiting beliefs, and help you construct more powerful alternatives. And part of this, the internal monologue, is the external monologue, right? How good are you at receiving feedback? Some people call it criticism. Do you take offense to everything someone tells you? That could tell me your mindset might be a little closed off. Someone could walk up to me and tell me that my shorts are ugly, and I will thank them for their opinion and continue on, because I know I love my shorts. They match my shirt. My wife picked this out, and she would never steer me wrong, right? I have anchored my internal to external and vice versa. But I'm also really appreciative of feedback, because it helps me see blind spots. I can tell you, Dan Caldwell from 10, 15 years ago, you couldn't tell me nothing. Man, my ego would flare up so big, I would prove you wrong just to be right. But a growth mindset has challenged me to become more open-minded, to be more receptive of it. Because again, going back to that love of learning is, I want to see how other people perceive me. Not that it matters to the point of you care what other people think, but because perception is reality. And if I say one thing one way, it's going okay, but if I make an off-color joke and it offends somebody, I need to be aware of that so that I can learn how I am being perceived. How many times has somebody thought you were mean, aggressive, mad at them when you were just in a headspace, or you were just thinking, or you suffered from what they call RBF, right? You guys can finish the acronym, the resting itch face. There's a B in there. Remember, just put the B on the front of itch. It's a default setting for a lot of people. But that's the thing is, hey, I was, I think it was at Lowe's, or it was at the first car dealership I worked at. I don't remember, but one of the managers there, I can't remember exactly, but I remember this sentence. He would walk down the aisle. He would walk down the main corridors, and he would say good morning to people. And it would catch somebody with RBF or some negative face on. He'd be like, Jim, how's your day going? Jim would respond,
That's going good.
tell your face that.
What?
Tell your face that. Because our default is to say, yeah, it's going good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing well. But we would have this external look that did not reflect internal desire. Like, we didn't look friendly. We didn't look positive. We didn't look happy. One of the dumbest things ever, but it is the best sentence I've adopted. You know, are you having a good day? Well, then tell your face that. Because a default setting to me is mean and grumpy. I don't look friendly, but I'm in a good mood. I just don't look like it. So remember, be open to some feedback. Ask for it. Another point, avoid comparison. I'm doing this many deals. Joanne's doing this many deals. Chris does this many deals. I'm just not doing good. No, compare yourself to your potential, not to others. Because when you're focused on a growth mindset, you're focused on your own potential and your own progress and your own development. And you understand that everybody else's journey is unique. If we all had the same background, we could all have the same foreground. But I guarantee every one of us has a different story. So focus on you. Don't focus on others. Take inspiration from those that are doing greatness, but don't compare yourself to them. Be like, this is possible. I'm going to go out and do it. Not, I can't believe he's already got 3 deals and I don't have 1. I suck, right? Now you're challenging a couple of pillars. Negative self-talk, comparison, right? You're being, you're demonstrative of negative activity. Don't do that. Because if the more you avoid comparison, the stronger you can be in working on yourself. And that's, I am measuring myself against where I should be, could be, and want to be. Time trials, if you will. Because part of that is like seeing success in others is inspiration, right? We talk about this all the time on this call. Is people doing more than you will not bash on you. Find your tribe. Find the people that are out there pushing you to be bigger, better, and better. Because find that as inspiration. You know what? Yeah, you did 27 open houses. Man, I'm proud of you. Don't look at it as, I can't do 27 open houses. He's just better than I am. No. Seek the success in others as inspiration. See that as a positive thing. Man, they're killing it. I love it. I'm proud of being in business with this person. You can see it as external validation that effort and dedication can help you achieve goals because others are doing it. It's possible. Like Roger Bannister in the 4-minute mile. Hadn't been done ever in history until the moment he did it, and then 5 or 6 more times that same year. Because once it was proven to be true, boom, everyone was doing it. Well, what big goal are you going after that you don't have visual proof of? Go find somebody who's doing it and soak in the inspiration. And lastly, the last part of the growth mindset, my friends, is having continual growth and improvement. We talk about that in the 1%. Every day, 1%. You need to live by a belief that you can continually improve, that everything can get 1% better. And I encourage you to make this a lifelong commitment. This isn't just about real estate. This isn't about business. This is about you. Randy put in the chat, the fastest way to get somewhere is slowly, right? Speed up, or sorry, my old manager, Brad Zakoff, rest his soul, passed away this year. He's an amazing individual, and he battled with cancer and all kinds of other things in his life. But he'd always say, you need to slow down to speed up. Because if you're going so fast that you're tripping over important things, you have to go back for them. So the fastest way to go somewhere is slowly. And to that, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Find a tribe of people that are growth-minded. And if you need a leader, become one. Because after all, you will dictate the forward path of your life. You cannot change what happened behind you. That's why the windshield's 1,000 times bigger than the rearview mirror. I hope today was important for you. I hope you had a good mindset reset. I was excited to share today. I really was. Get more growth-minded people around you because it's only going to help you go further. I'm excited for you guys, my friends. Big high five. We'll see you tomorrow.